As I've grown up and gotten to form more meaningful relationships with people, I've noticed a common theme all my friends seem to share, and that's that none of them seem to view themselves very highly. I know that nobody wants to be seen as egotistical, but tons of people, myself included, go beyond plain humility and end up just criticizing or hating themselves. A lot of my closest friends have either subtly or directly degraded their own value while talking to me, and when I started to notice this behavior building up in myself as well, I realized how unhealthy it is and decided I need to find a way to break this cycle. First, I had to understand what actually caused this internal criticism. Looking inward on myself and others around me, I realized it usually boils down to this one lie: you're not good enough. This is a feeling that seems to hit just about everyone at some point or another, and it's tough because when you look at other people, especially those who are more accomplished, more talented, or successful than you, you'll always see something you could be doing better. But we're all in the same boat here, and you can't possibly expect yourself to be the best at everything you do, because nobody is. But because we believe this lie, it gives us an excuse to put ourselves down and constantly say, I could be doing better. So if you never seem to feel satisfied with who you are and how accomplished you are as a human being, here's 3 things I found to make it easier. The first thing you can do is just allow yourself to enjoy a victory. When most people succeed at something or reach a milestone, they don't accept the win and celebrate it, rather they choose to move the goalposts. For example, when you're playing a game like Stardew Valley, you might tell yourself your goal is to upgrade your house. But when you finally reach that goal, rather than celebrating your win and enjoying the new space, you'll probably immediately set a new goal, deciding that the old one wasn't enough. Most people have this habit of moving the goalposts, and to be fair, at some point you do have to set new goals to strive for. That's what keeps you going and progressing in life. But it's not healthy to stop yourself from enjoying all the wins you get along the way. A good balance is to give yourself a day or two where you can relax and soak in the victory before moving on and setting a new goal. It'll take a little bit of time to normalize this habit, but overall it'll help you view yourself and your accomplishments as much more valuable. Another key factor is being realistic. Most people, myself included, are unrealistic in their expectations for themselves, and it leads to everything feeling like a failure even if you did make progress. If your goal is to be the best in the world at something, you'll pretty quickly find out that it isn't an obtainable goal because there will always be someone better than you. But because your goal was to be the best, your brain will lie to you and say you failed even though the finish line was nearly impossible in the first place. This kind of thinking has led to me feeling like I failed when I see anyone who's better than me at something. And the tactic I've found to help fight this is to just not set such unrealistic expectations in the first place. If you've never heard of SMART goals, it's an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. It's a system that's designed to help you shape more realistic goals for yourself. If all of your goals are unrealistic, you'll pretty easily get discouraged when you can't reach any of them. So instead, focus on making sure all of your personal goals adhere to the SMART guidelines. In my opinion, the most important letter in SMART is A for achievable. Because if your goals are too difficult for you to reasonably achieve, you'll be discouraged pretty fast when you can't accomplish any of them. So instead of making difficult and outlandish goals like telling yourself, I will be the top tennis player in the world, tell yourself, I'll move up a rank on my tennis team. This is a much more achievable goal and you'll feel much more successful for reaching it. Finally, the most important thing you can do to treat yourself with the respect you deserve is just to cut yourself some slack. You won't be perfect 100% of the time because nobody is. Remember that every time you look at someone else's life, you're only seeing part of the story. So instead of comparing yourself to all the incomplete stories you see, focus on your own because you know your entire story up to this point. Whatever has gone on in your life, you're still worth something. To me, to God, and to other people. It doesn't matter if you're rich, talented, successful, or none of the above. You're still worth something. Now, I've shared my 3 tips on how to actually feel good enough despite all the noise in the world that tells you you aren't. You need to celebrate your wins, be realistic, and cut yourself some slack. But this isn't some change that will happen overnight. You have to start to recognize when you're being too harsh on yourself, and you've got to replace your negative thoughts with the truth. Change your mindset to be forgiving to yourself in addition to others. And at the end of the day, remember everyone is human, and we all live complicated lives, and we're all worth something. So treat yourself like you would any other person.